1 minute. First of all, I appreciate all of you guys showing up at 8 o'clock in the morning in Vegas. I know that's difficult. I woke up this morning, I'm like, no, I'm going back to bed. Then I'm like, oh yeah, somebody has to do the seminar. I was kind of hoping I'd ask one of those homeless guys on the sides, like, listen, do me a favor, read these notes. Have you ever DJ'd before? 9 out of 10, the answer would be yes. I mean, let's face it. It's kind of like the joke. It used to be where, you're on a plane and somebody passes out. It's like, is there a doctor in the house? The guy raises his hand, I'm a DJ. The one behind him raises his hand and says, I'm a vegan, if that counts. But for those of you that don't know me, my name is Arnaldo Offerman. I am here on behalf of ADJ and also my own educational seminars called Master School Dances. However, this seminar is more than just school events. So it's basically called You're a DJ Now What? And this is basically a seminar / rant on how DJs that are going into production don't realize that they're going into production, but not realize that you're entering, wow, this is cutting out. By not realizing that you're entering production, you're kind of tainting the industry when you do things incorrect. So this is really about being able to understand what it is about going from a DJ to a full production company. To give you my personal experience, when I first joined Day Premier Entertainment just as a regular employee, it was just really DJ, basic lights, and that was it. We really started pushing the school market, and that was what I started being in charge of. Our market, and even today when DJs are saying, I can't get more than $500, we're getting, no joke, anywhere between $25,000 to $15,000 a school dance. The money is there, and it's not just Florida, because I'm going to tell you about something about Florida. It sucks. It really doesn't matter where you're at, the schools have the money. But that being said, it's also allowed us to funnel into different events, whether it was corporate events, whether it was high-end weddings. What we saw whenever we entered our production market and the business that we wanted to get into is that there's different levels, and I'll talk about that as well. Once we found a level of production that nobody else was doing, we were able to really embrace it and become the biggest ones in our area. So the most important thing, first of all, is to ask yourself, well, what are you? And the way that I ask people this is, how many LEDs do you need to mix? Now here's what I mean by that. I do a lot of stuff on YouTube, and because of that, I look and watch other people's YouTube channels, and I love the comments. It's usually a train wreck waiting to happen. This is the one thing that I hear every time that drives me nuts. If I see a video of a DJ, it doesn't matter who it is, and they don't have a light show or anything like that, there's always somebody that comments, well, you need some lights to DJ. No, you don't. You guys, how many guys were at the DJ takeover yesterday or last night? Okay, awesome. So if you were there, or if you watched, for example, last year when Jazzy Jeff performed, they would come in, they would set up whether it was their controller, turntable, CDJs, whatever the case may be, and their laptop. Did any of these guys set up any lights? Did anybody say, okay, crossfade, oh shoot, I need an uplight now to make the music? No, it doesn't work like that. You need this number of lights to DJ. You need this number of screens to DJ. DJ is just that, a disc jockey, somebody that's playing music. The moment that you set up a light, you are no longer just a DJ. And that's why a lot of people started doing the whole, well, I'm more than just a DJ, which we'll touch that in a second. But the big difference between a DJ and a production company is that somebody's going from just offering those DJ services to a production. It doesn't have to be an all-out production where you're doing this and that. It could be something as simple as uplighting. And please don't be one of those people that say, well, I'm not a production company, but I DJ and I also set up uplighting, monograms, video screens, and pin spotting. Yeah, that's a production or an event company, whatever you may call it. But you're no longer just a DJ. Because of that mentality, you get a lot of DJs that are coming in and they'll set up whatever light show may be, and now you have dots or lasers or things going when they shouldn't be. And I kid you not, there's a YouTube video floating out there of somebody, and if this is you, I'm so sorry, I'll smack you upside the head for this later. They're using a strobe light during the first dance. Why? Because of that. If you ever go to any on Facebook groups, just kind of just peek into one of those planners only group or stagehands only group, and just mention the word DJ and start listening to them cringe. Stagehands hate DJs because if you're not redlining, you're not headlining. They start cranking everything up, or, well, the DJ started turning strobes during an appropriate time. By being able to enter that production company, not just business plan, but mindset, you're no longer just a DJ. The easiest way that I've been able to deal with hotels, because how many here has ever had a problem with a hotel putting us in the worst corner or not giving us enough power? Or I love this one. I kid you not, I had a high-end hotel tell me, oh, you need power? Well, I was just going to go the entire time and just like hold my phone up in the air. So it's one of those that it's always been an issue when they hear just a DJ, just a DJ. And I actually had a conversation with one of the very first hotels I ever worked with, a big event. And I asked them, like, look, what is it with hotels and DJs always butting heads? They're like, well, to be honest with you, DJs are a pain in the ass. I mean, that was really what they said. And they started telling me all these horror stories. So I experimented and tried something different. I literally had like an A and B group. And I told my schools and my corporate clients, do me a favor, when you introduce me as the AV company, not as the DJ, or as the event company or production company. And do you know what happened? Suddenly there was respect. Not only was there respect, there was also a cart of coffee waiting for me when we came in. It's like, oh, this guy's not a DJ, he's an AV guy. Let's bring some coffee, people, free. I'm like, yes. But why is that? Because there's so many people, again, DJs that are bringing in lights and bringing in pin spots, whatever the case may be. And because they're saying, oh, I'm just a DJ, they're thinking, okay, it's a guy with zero experience setting this stuff up. So you want to get into the mindset of being a production company. On the business side, what is the business difference between being the DJ and a production company? Well, as I said, you can't be just a DJ anymore. And there's still a lot of websites out there that say, not just a DJ, or more than just a DJ. Well, if you're not just a DJ or more than just a DJ and everybody else is behind you, then why does your company say DJ services? But I'm not a DJ. It's kind of like if you ever get a chance, go on YouTube and watch Super Hot Fire. He's like a freestyle rapper. He goes, but I'm not a rapper. I feel the same way. DJs are doing this exact same thing. Clients are expecting more though. Their client base is absolutely changing. I haven't seen in a long time a wedding client or a school client says, look, I just need a DJ. They'll ask you, well, do you have DJ lights? What exactly are DJ lights? Why does this term exist? Why is there a difference between, and this should be offensive to us, why is there a difference between professional lights and DJ lights? If a DJ light is being used to make money, it's a professional light. But it's that mindset of, oh yeah, it's just a bunch of little blinking lights not really doing anything. It's being able to step up to that next level. So, because of that, you got to do the distinction between your marketing, your selling, your investing. All of that are completely different. And I'm going to kind of touch on that throughout the seminar. So the difference, again, between more than just a DJ and a production company. And if you don't want to be a production company, if you're saying, you know what, look, I'm just going to do uplights and a monogram and that's it, great. Then call yourself an event company. Don't just say more than just a DJ. Not only because you are more than just a DJ, and that's kind of like a duh term nowadays, but everybody else is using that. And you want to do pattern interrupt. If your competitor's website says more than just a DJ, your Craigslist DJ says more than just a DJ, why are you going to put yourself in the same plane as they are? Put yourself in a different set of words and a different description for your company, and that's called pattern interrupt. So when they're saying more than just a DJ, more than just a DJ, more than just DJ, full service event company, one of those websites is going to stick out. Not credit cards, yeah, please don't give those to your clients, business cards, anything like that. So by that being said, how do you do that? The most important thing is to compartmentalize. This is understanding that some people want just a DJ, and some people are going to need DJ, lighting, whatever the case may be, and some people don't want a DJ at all. And this is where you can make extra money doing this. And I'll talk about this a little bit more, but once you enter the event company, now you can say, oh, you already have a DJ? If you're more than just a DJ at a bridal show, hey, do you have a DJ? Yes. Oh, okay, well, thank you very much, and that's it. If you're an event company, hey, do you have a DJ? Yes, I do. Okay, well, listen, does he offer uplighting, pin spotting, like that? No, well, listen, we do when we work with other DJs. Take our card. You don't have to hire our DJs, but we would still be able to provide lighting for you. So now you can still keep yourself busy, or if you're a multi-op, keep your staff busy. Also, specialize. This is something that's really important. And that's where you're offering, again, certain types of effects, events, and even a specific price range. So like I said, I was able to find a really nice little market when it comes to our production. I describe ourselves as mid-level production company. What that means is we're not cheap, so we're not a beginning production company, but at the same time, I'm not going to set up an Aerosmith concert. If you're asking me to run audio or lighting for an Aerosmith concert, no, that's not going to. Hello, there we go. Like, no, that's not going to happen. There's already a whole bunch of other companies out there that have that market, and I could sit there and invest and get in that market, but No, I'm okay with my market is. My market is the mid-level production company, the high-end weddings, the big school dances, the people that are needing sound for 1,000 people, but they don't want to, or they don't have the money to invest in a company that is going to really charge them out because they do Aerosmith concerts and they don't want to do a little small person conference. So there's always a nice mid-level market. So whether you're the mid-level market or the entry market of, look, I'm just going to do uplighting and monogram, whatever the case may be, find your market, specialize directly into that. And specialize only in a certain type of effects. Until you really get into it, or especially if you're a single man show, you can't sit there and say, well, I do uplighting, monogram, moving heads, projection mapping, cake mapping, pin spotting, pipe and drape, ceiling decor. How do you keep track of all that? Grow little by little. The biggest mistake I see is people who just invest in so much and then they don't know how to market it, they don't know how to do it, and it all comes apart. The joke that I've always said, and other people have said it too, is how do you make $1 million in the DJ and AV industry? You start with $2 million. So you want to make sure that you invest properly with that. And again, now your non-DJ options are available without asking. Now this is what I mean. If you have a client and they wind up going into your website and they're looking for a DJ, they're going to call you with the DJ mindset. Okay, I need a DJ. I read on the knot that they're replaceable with an iPod, and I'm going to find the cheapest possible. And unfortunately, that's what happens nowadays. And I'm going to call out the knot specifically on that. But if you are the event production company, they're seeing your website, they know right away, okay, wow, this person does this and this and this and this. They're not going to be cheap. I don't want to tell people, look, if you have to ask how much I am right off the bat, you can't afford me, but I want my website to say that. And that filters some people out. But at the same time, we do say on our website, by the way, if you're looking for just a DJ, we do have that. At the same time, you don't want to pull away from the DJ mentality when you sell. Now, what I mean by that is, and this is where it gets kind of tricky, you do want to push all the extra stuff that you offer, but you still want to tell your client, look, on top of everything that I can do to make your event look and sound good, I'm a badass DJ. Like, I can do some really cool stuff and give them a live demo, because everybody else is now so focused on emceeing and this and that and this and that, that people forget that DJ is still the party aspect of that event. So if it's a wedding, a school dance, well, everybody else is really hyping everything else up, you hype everything else up, but then you say, but on top of it, I am such a great DJ that all this stuff is going to look even better. Whatever way you pitch it, whatever way you sell it, you still don't want to lose the fact that you're still the DJ in that. So now let's blur the lines. And that's the lines between, being a DJ and being a production company. And by the way, I chose this photo because this is a school that I've been with now for 5 years. And when I first started working with them, they were looking for just a DJ. $10,000 later, not so much. So why blur the lines? Well, the most important part is more income. Does anybody here have all the money that they need? Because if you do, let's go talk. And by talk, I'm going to jump you. Everybody always wants more income, especially in this day and age. We all want to do extra things. We all want to keep looking at that slot machine like, man, I can put more money in there. But no, we all want to make more income. And let's face it, DJing can only earn us so much when everybody's a DJ nowadays. So when you're getting into where it's uplighting or production or high-end production, video screens, whatever the case may be, you always get that extra income, especially weekday income. I don't know about in your area, but in Florida, every single hotel is always packed every single day with corporate events. They don't need a DJ. They only need a sound person. And a lot of these sound events are always last minute. I always get a call like literally the day before, hey, we need closed circuit cameras. Basically means we have a camera in one room feeding out to a TV in the other. It takes maybe an hour and a half, 2 hours to set up, but because it's a last minute thing, there's always a $300 or $400 last minute fee put on top. Because my techs don't like working last minute without, or they like working last minute, but it always takes a little bit of extra preparation. So there's a last minute fee and everything else on top of it. A lot of the hotels that we work at have PSAV or some company that's already in there, but a lot of times they don't want to use PSAV, or PSAV may not have somebody available, so the hotels know, hey, listen, if they're not available, call me, we'll take good care of you. So there's always that extra income. Because of that, you also get more opportunities. Now you can find the DJs that are not doing these kinds of things, the DJs that don't want to get into wireless uplighting. Look, I don't blame everybody for not getting into wireless uplighting. A couple of years ago, that stuff was expensive. You wanted to get 40 wireless uplights, it's either that or feed your kids. And unfortunately, my kids eat a lot, so you really had to make that choice of which way you wanted to go. But now you find these DJs that are either not wanting to get into it, or they can't afford to get into it, or they don't know better. It's like, look. It's really expensive to get into lighting right off the bat. Why don't you do it the right way? Rent from me. I'll take good care of you. And now you're networking with other DJs. Now, other DJs, your competition is going to bring you income. And that's why I say you want to find something you can specialize in, especially when it comes to production, that you're better than everybody else. For us, in the mid-level production range, it's projector mapping. Nobody in my area is doing projector mapping except for Disney. And I'm certainly not going to compete with, oh boy, the mouse. My goodness, my voice is gone. But I know that if you're going to a Marriott over in Tampa and you want projector mapping, you really have two choices. We're one of them. The other company only does really big events, so they don't usually like taking private events. Also allows us to do rentals. Again, I get hotels that call me, hey, we need to rent this many number of uplights. Great. Now, whenever we rent uplights, I always ask them, do you want static, single color? Do you want them color changing with a tech? And they're like, no, we just need static. By the time that they get there, or we get there and we start setting up, the hotel always asks, oh, well, how much more would it be for color changing? So we always bring extra cables with them. And we tell them, whether we need extra cables because it's wired or we do the wireless. Well, we got to have a tech. It'll be, another $300 or $400. Okay, great. Now, suddenly, we made an extra $300 or $400 just by having the tech sit there and start controlling the uplighting. So again, there's really a lot of extra income that goes in there. Also, your business lives longer. I'm going to use myself as an example. My big bread and butter is school dances. Eventually, I'm going to hit an age where I'm not going to appeal to a high schooler. Eventually, I'm going to hit an age where I'm going to look at all that setup and be like, so how often, and this is something I don't know if you guys have all asked yourselves, how much longer, test 1, 2, there we go. For how long are you guys willing to lift up and set up your speakers and sound equipment every single weekend? After a while, it's going to wear out on us. Or God forbid, something could happen to us. One of my friends broke his foot and couldn't do anything. So luckily, he had somebody that could help him set up. But then he thought about it. He's like, my goodness. Test 1, 2. But then he thought about it and said, you know what? I need to find something besides more than just DJing. After a while, when he decides that he retires, when I decide I retire, I know that I have enough of a production back end that I can have other people do it. That if I decide we don't want to DJ anymore, if computers get so smart that now they're DJing for you, and there's an iPod app by a popular DJ company that now mixes the music for you called Pyro. You know what I'm talking about. If all of a sudden DJs completely get replaced by the same companies that kept knocking on the sync button and now are doing it for you, sorry, there's my rant right there. If your business completely gets replaced out, it's not like computers are going to create their own lighting. You still need somebody to do lighting. You still need somebody to do video. And honestly, it's that hotel, the corporate AV rental game, that makes way more money than DJs ever do full time. I mean, there's some serious money behind that. So your business does live longer. So marketing and selling. So as we talked about again, there's a couple different aspects of changing your marketing and selling. And that is thinking about why your client came to you. Why did your client approach you? This is actually one of the events that I kind of snaked from the hotel by accident. This is an international beauty pageant, and this was their private room that they were doing. I used to DJ their white cocktail party. Everybody was dressed in all white. It's one of my favorite events every year. And every time that I go there, I'm like, man, the lighting needs to be adjusted here, here, here. And I was actually just talking about it with one of my techs. My client had overheard, and she's like, wait, you guys do lighting too? I'm like, yeah, if you look on our website, we're a full-service production company. And she's like, well, what can you do? I'm like, I can do everything. What are you wanting to do that you're not able to do now? I'm never going to ask, how much are you paying now? And let me undercut that. That's seedy. I ask them, what are you wanting to do that you cannot do right now? And that's the most powerful question you can ask somebody, because basically you just told them, I can do what your current company isn't doing. Whatever they can do, I can do better, without sounding really arrogant about it. And she's like, well, honestly, we wanted to have 2 different levels of pipe and drape. We wanted to be able to have color changing lighting, to be able to dim it. I'm like, well, why can't you do that right now? Budget was one of the concerns, but more than anything else, I need somebody that can tell at all times what to do, and their light tech doesn't do that. Okay, that's not a problem. We can work out with that. We gave her a price. We actually flew audio. We flew audio behind the pipe and drape. The drape that we have does not block sound all the way. And that was another concern. She's like, I don't like how speakers look. It's a fashion show. It's a beauty pageant. It's supposed to look pretty. And here we've got these huge honking line array speakers. I was really annoyed to hear the word line array, because if you see all the chairs there, that's the total amount of chairs in the room. I think there's like 2 more rows that aren't seen. Why do we need line arrays for that? And I don't mean like just 2 or 3 cabinets. I mean, all the way down. I'm like, man, this is awesome. It's like, this is not the way it should be. So I talked to him like, look, I didn't get into specifics about line arrays, non-line arrays. I'm like, look, we have a different type of speaker. It's called a point source speaker. It's going to sound the same for what you need, but I can hide it behind the drape. It's going to look good. And she goes, okay, great. So we did that. We flew up the speakers, and you couldn't see them. And she was happy with that. We did some backlighting, some side fails, you know, and because we've done a lot of stuff with other beauty pageants, fashion shows, bridal shows, we were able to now start upselling things they didn't think about. Well, let me ask you this. Is there foot lighting? She's like, well, what's foot lighting? So we explain what foot lighting is. For those of you that don't know, it's to light up the feet. In a beauty pageant, that's really important to be able to be lit up from the top, bottom, sides, everywhere. So that was something that was exciting for them. So because of that, I took this little small, I think it was like $900 contract, something like that, because it's on a Thursday. We turned it into a 3 or 4 day event, and they brought out a lot. I mean, it was a lot of money. It was televised. It was absolutely worth it. So again, how did that happen? Well, they first contacted us because they came to us looking for a DJ. And this was when we got this client, we were just a DJ company that does more than just a DJ. I don't want my clients searching just for me that they're looking for a DJ. Why? Because they have that DJ mentality, meaning I need to find something that's absolutely affordable, whatever the case may be. For some reason, people hear DJ and they think cheap, and that drives all of us nuts. But let's all come to face the facts. People hear DJ, they think cheap. We can thank the market, we can thank the magazines, whatever you want to thank or blame for it, that's the way it is. So if a client comes and immediately looks at our website and they see DJ, 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 they think, oh, cheap, I'm going to call. They have some DJ lighting, great. They come to our website and they see full service production company. Or I'll give shout out to Jason Janai. He does the wedding boutique company. Or he used the word boutique in there. Again, it's that pattern interrupt. I haven't heard anybody use that before. They come in looking for that. They know, oh man, they offer a lot. Maybe we should, you know, have them be our full company. And I get a lot of them that say that. It's like, look, we're looking for just DJ, but if you do everything, we'd rather just sign one contract, even if we cost more. And this is especially true with schools, corporate. You know, a bride does not mind writing multiple checks. It's one time in her life. I'm in Florida, so it could be second, third, fourth, fifth wedding. We don't know. But, but it's one of those that weddings, they don't usually mind writing multiple checks. With schools, this is the most important thing. With corporates, even more important. They only want to write one check. They want to write as many little checks as possible. So all you got to do is tell them the magic words. With us, we can do pretty much everything, so you have only one check to write for the entire production. That's a big deal for them because cutting out checks is a huge hassle for these companies. Or in the school market, they are just too lazy. They don't want to have to deal with county paperwork for that. So that being said, it also affects our Google rankings too. I don't want people when they search for just DJ or whatever. Yes, we want our website to come up. But when they're searching for uplighting, is your website coming up? When they're searching for audio visual, or is your website coming up? Everybody focuses again on DJ, so everybody's fighting for those Google keywords. And by the way, if you guys are not familiar with Google, they hate the DJs apparently because it doesn't matter what you do. Gigmaster still comes up as the #1 result every single time. But that being said, Google now no longer looks for keywords. So if you're doing a whole bunch of keywords, everything down at the bottom, that doesn't work anymore. You can get rid of that. You can get rid of your meta, your title. They don't look at that. What Google looks for is where are you located and are you a relevant business? If you're a business webpage and you say, I'm a DJ in whatever city it's going to be, you better make sure that you're registered in that city, that your website shows an address that you're in that city, and you got to have content, and you got to have video. The newest update of Google just absolutely sucks because it killed a lot of people. But that being said, I want people when they search for uplighting, for monograms, for cake mapping, whatever the case may be, that they land on our website. Because now they came to us looking for pipe and drape. Oh, well, hey, listen, we offer pipe and drape, DJ, uplighting. They came to us looking for uplighting. Well, we offer DJ, uplighting, whatever the case may be. Now we offer more because we are a full service production company. Excuse me, I'm like running out of air over here. That being said, the latter means that they are more open to more ideas. If they come in looking and, well, you're just a DJ, okay, great, and they have a coordinator, coordinators, yay, and the coordinator's like, well, no, listen, I'm working with this full service lighting company. They can do this, and they can do that, and they can do this, and you can go with this, and you can go with that, whatever the case may be, right? Then you lost your sale to the coordinator's lighting company. But when you come in saying, look, we're a full service event company, they bring their coordinator with them, and now you meet with the coordinator, like, look, we can handle this, this, and this. Again, it just changes that mindset in there. Also, with a production company, lighting is a standard. You know, when people that are looking for a production company know they're going to get lights, and they're not going to get DJ lights. The difference between DJ lights and professional lights apparently is about 4 digits, because it seems the DJs are throwing lights in for free, which is a terrible idea because it's not making you money unless your bottom end has gone up to begin with. And if you want a moving head, suddenly you're paying money. So what's the difference between small little DJ movers and big movers? We know the difference, but if the end results are the same, where they just hit the dance floor, they should be paying that same amount of money regardless of the tool that's being used. That being said, it all comes to talking about business plans. And the number one thing that I hear when I ask a lot of DJs, especially the ones that I coach one-on-one, is, let me see your business plan. Well, this is what I'm going to do and do. I'm like, no. Let me see your written business plan. What is your plan of attack? And we all know the whole, if you don't plan, business, or you're planning to fail, whatever the case may be. No, here's what it is. We're all OCD, ADHD, whatever the case may be. That's what we're DJs. If you tell yourself you are not ADHD or ADD, you are lying to yourself. That is why we are DJs, because we want to do multiple cool things at the same time. We want to push all the buttons. But we unfortunately do that with business. And I can tell you right now, there isn't one person I've met that hasn't bought this and this and this and this, and they're like, crap, what do I do? I've been guilty of it. I had the bright idea when we first started. I'm like, you know what? I want to do string lighting. I'm going to do Chinese lanterns, and we're going to do, the little paper lanterns and all that. And the string lighting's a big market for us. I set up the little Chinese lantern one time, and you know what I learned? I hate it. I would much rather listen to every Nickelback song playing backwards at the same time than setting up one of these stupid little things. I hate them. So now I got like 100 of these things sitting there. Luckily, I only bought a small batch, but they were the really expensive ones. So I'm like, yard sale, yay. We've all been guilty of it at some point, of not researching something enough before we get to it and really understanding your market. If you're going to get into uplighting and every single person in your area offers uplighting, you better find a different kind of uplighting to get into. If everybody's offering a little just stagnant uplighting to just go straight up, go into something different. Go into something different. I'm working with a DJ right now. His market's saturated with everybody offering, I kid you not, free wireless uplighting. Like, why free? Why free? These are the same people complaining about Bernie Sanders. But no, why free wireless uplighting? It was not free. I did not go to my dealers like, listen, I need some uplighting. How much is it? Dude, I got you. It's free. Well, then I'm going to offer it for free. That's smart business sense. I'm not going to sit there and say, here, I'm going to give you money for your phone, and now I'm going to give this phone to you for free. No, because that's stupid. So why are we doing that with lighting? You need to make sure, first of all, if you are going to include free, you roll up your bottom line with it. Now that we've said that part, oops, I did it backwards. First thing about your business plan, don't plan your company around your vendors. Networking is important. I get that. But you know what? With your vendors and you, if it comes to doing a referral to somebody else or feeding their own family, we all know what they're going to pick. Unless they're like my family, taking Star for all I care. But no, don't plan yourself around other vendors. Now here's what I mean. I never got into pipe and drape because I didn't want to step on toes with the people that I was doing work with and those that referred me. Well, one day, one of the big vendors that we use all the time, she also plans a bridal show. And I told her, I was like, look, I need to rent 100 feet of pipe and drape for this school, and we do this every single year. She knows the date like a year and a half ahead. She contacts me about 5 months prior. Oh, hey, and by she contacts me, I meant I followed up with her, and then she decided to tell me, oh, well, I've got the bridal show. I can't set up the pipe and drape. Okay, that's not a big deal. I totally get that. Let me rent it. I'll set it up and break it down. And then she's like, okay, that's great. I call her 2 weeks before just to confirm, hey, when can I pick up the pipe and drape? Oh, yeah, no, I can't do that. Like, what do you mean you can't do that? It's the busiest freaking day for everybody in Florida, and what do you mean you can't do that? Long story short, I had an overnight pipe and drape and have it ready to go. And then I thought about it. You know, we just kept that 100 feet. I'm like, man, I could get more and make a killing on pipe and drape. I mean, I kid you not. Like, pipe and drape suddenly is like the big thing, right? And it's always been a big thing, but now it's like huge. Huge. But I'm like, I'm going to really make these companies mad at me that refer me. And then I did the math. I'm like, I can increase my bottom line by several $1,000s every year. Or if I do make them angry, I lose 3 or 4 referrals a year. Well, we already know what I did. So now I own 500 plus feet of pipe and drape. But what happened with that vendor company? We had a good enough relationship with them. I approached them like, hey, just letting you know, I'm getting into pipe and drape. What kind of pipe and drape do you have? Here's why I asked them that. I told them, like, the reason I'm asking is because if you guys are ever low on pipe and drape, you can rent from me. If I'm low on pipe and drape, I can rent from you guys. We can both grow our businesses that way. And it has worked out perfectly because now they're buying stuff that we may do, but we don't have a lot of. Like we have, I think like 50, 60 pin spots now because I just bought 40 recently. But there's some events where they need 100 of them. They bought the same ones. If I need more, I can rent from them. If they need more, they can rent from me. We all make money. Yay, money passing all the way around. We're absolutely happy with that. But either way, don't plan your business around vendors, because when you do, you're going to keep waiting and waiting, and you're just going to keep losing money out of it. Projector mapping is the #1 thing. Look, I love Disney. But that whole cake mapping thing they've been doing, we've all been doing that. Well, I mean those of us who do video mapping, we've been video mapping cakes for a long time. I just never really advertised. I'm like, no one's going to pay for this. This is really cool. This is really expensive. Suddenly Disney does it. I'm like, well, damn, I should have been here first. So now we're just kind of riding on their coattails. Every time that somebody sees our stuff, I go, oh, you guys do what Disney does. Yeah, that's what it is. So again, don't plan your business around vendors. Going back to what I said earlier, #2. Buy all the lights. This is the typical mentality of everybody. And ADJ is probably like, Arnoldo, what are you doing? We want them to buy all the lights. This is how we're paying for things. But in reality, this is a problem. People buy a whole bunch of, whether it's lights or whatever the big trend is, photo booths, and they don't do any research of it. So now you just have a big giant paperweight not making you money or hemorrhaging money. If you have a full-time job, like another full-time job besides DJing, I have nothing against part-time people at all. Or I call it second job, because this is never in any way, shape, or form a part-time job. I don't care what anybody tells you. So if you have a second job, that's great. But if you're using the money from your second job to fund your first job, because your first job, or excuse me, your DJ job, because your DJ business can't fund its own lighting, you're hemorrhaging money. That's a terrible idea. Why are you taking money from your other job to pay for your DJ business? Your DJ business should pay for only your DJ business, and that's the end of that. Don't go crazy buying stuff. I'll give you another example, and this is me personally. When we first started getting to school market, we saw these cool lights. This is way back in the day. Do you guys remember VEI? They used to have like the Nova scans. If you guys don't know the Nova scans, these scanners were really cool. And they were cheap scanners, but they were good scanners. We bought a whole bunch of those. They lasted us. I replaced them with the ADJ the Inno scans, because they're LED and they had much nicer gobos and everything else. But we bought these rollers, expecting that same kind of roller effect that you would see from, like an Acrobat. Well, it didn't happen. I bought like $5,000 worth of rollers, and all they did was just roll. That was it. I'm like, well, that was a waste of money. Again, not enough research or whatever the case may be. Photo booths. We got into photo booths. Everybody else was doing photo booths. Like, oh, we need to do it too. And yes, we have photo booths, and we've luckily been able to grow into a successful company. But the first 3 photo booths that we bought, they're just sitting there collecting dust because they're useless for our personal business plan. So again, buying all the gear, it doesn't work. It's never going to work. You got to specialize into what you need. You got to understand your target market and the best lighting for that target market. So again, I'm a mid-level production company. I could sit there and buy ADJ's big sister company, Elation. I can buy some of the really high-end moving heads. My clients are not going to be able to tell the difference between a $5,000 moving head and a $1,200 moving head. My wallet can tell the difference though. So I need to be able to maximize. So again, with schools, I use this example with school dances all the time. If I have $8,000 and I can buy either 4 really amazing movers with all these high-end features, or I can buy 8 movers with all the features that a school is going to need, what's going to put on a better show? 4 moving heads or 8 moving heads? But not to mention, what happens if one of those moving heads goes down? Well, now you're 3 moving heads versus 7 moving heads. One of those shows is going to look really stupid, and somebody will ask you, hey, why do you only have 3 of those things? Well, why is it uneven? Because a lot of people are OCD, so they do notice when things are uneven. And now we've had it happen before. So it's one of those, you want to make sure that you kind of balance things out. I'm not saying go cheap, but understand where your market limitations are. If all you're using the for, again, if you're going with moving heads, and all you're going to do is point them at the dance floor, then you don't need a moving head that could burn carpet. We actually, we have the 16RX, which is incredible. Listen, if you guys ever want to tell a client that you can set up a moving head outside and hit clouds, the 16RX, no joke, that thing is a beast. But I'm not going to set that up if I'm doing a wedding in a room like this. If all my business is doing is small weddings like this, I'm not going to set up a moving head that's meant to hit the other side of Canada. So again, it's one of those, you really want to do your research on that. So that being said, what effects are you going to offer? As you're writing your business plan, don't say to yourself, well, I'm going to offer uplighting, monograms, this, that. Figure out exactly what your competition is offering and what you can do that's different or what you can do that's better. If you see your competition's doing nothing but wired up lights, believe me, there's still nothing wrong with doing wired up lights. Some situations call for it. Then you can get wireless uplighting. And then you can tell your clients, okay, look, so here's what happens. With the wired uplighting, you have those ugly cables. You could trip over. If somebody unplugs it, the show's done. The wireless uplighting that I have, we come in, we set up. It's cheaper because there's less labor, so you don't have to spend as much as some of the other companies. Whatever your plan of attack is, it doesn't matter. Just make sure that you offer a good quality product and that they understand that. But then everybody's offering wireless uplighting. So what's the next step up? Well, for us, we were looking, okay, everybody's offering wireless uplighting, but nobody's offering IP-rated uplighting. IP just basically means that you could spill water on it and you're good to go. So now we can start offering uplighting for outdoor events. Now, other companies offer their uplighting for outdoor events, and I've had this conversation with a lot of my clients. I tell them, like, look, if you look at their contract, if you ruin a light, if it rains and you're renting it and the light is ruined, you're paying for it. Here's how much that light costs. It's not cheap, especially when you're renting 20 of them. If you're indoors and you're renting it for a wedding, you're renting another DJ, and somebody comes in and spills beer on it, they're not going to pay for that light. Somebody has to pay for that light, and that's usually the end user. With the IP uplighting, I don't have to worry about that. You can spill beer on it. I've done demos at shows. I'm like, look, there's beer. I'm sorry that I'm wasting perfectly good beer, but it's Bud Light, so no one really cares. You know, so whatever the case may be, you don't have to worry about that. Now suddenly this IP-rated uplighting, which everybody normally would use it for outdoors, you're now selling it indoors because you tell them, look, it costs a few dollars more to rent this versus standard uplighting, but you don't have a security deposit. And nobody's really going to run away and steal it because this thing weighs a lot. And honestly, if you can fit that in your purse, well, you need a smaller purse. So again, really focus on what effects you're going to offer. For us, we wanted to offer projector mapping. And we can projector map a building and all that, but we decided I'm not going to get into the animated projector mapping where we can take this wall and make it look like there's a T-Rex coming in and he's bashing through the wall. I don't have time for all that. It's not it's not enough ROI for me. So that being said, we don't offer that. If somebody wants that, we send them to another company. So again, being able to really, I don't want to say pigeonhole, but pigeonhole yourself into the perfect market for you. It's called creating a red velvet rope. It's like at a nightclub, right? Every nightclub has a red velvet rope. Why? To keep certain kind of people out. And we've talked about that in sales. Michael Port talks about this all the time. It's you want to market yourself to keep a certain type of people out, whether it's pain in the butt clients or clients that don't match your energy level. But the same thing should be with gear. I don't want to offer an effect that's not going to match my brand, or it's not going to be something that we're going to be great at. If we can't be great at or be the greatest at, I'll let somebody else handle that. Next, you want to maximize your purchasing power and think long-term ROI, return of investment. Basically, it's what's going to last longer, what's going to be the easiest to use. For us, I'm a multi-op. And the unfortunate side of multi-op is that nobody will ever take care of your equipment as good as you will. Even when you take it out of their paycheck and they understand that if they drop a light down a flight of stairs because they don't understand what the hell the lock button on a case means, another rant right there, they'll never take care of your equipment. So it's like, okay, I got to buy something that's rugged, but not so rugged that, it's insanely heavy to use. So again, maximize your purchasing power. Going back into the moving heads, if I have the same budget and that budget can get me 4 moving heads or 8 moving heads, well, if I don't need framing shutters, if I don't need 2 gobo wheels at the same time, whatever those extra features may be, I'm going to go with the 8 moving heads. Because not only is that going to allow me to be able to do more with one show for a school dance or a corporate event, but I can split that show up and send it to 2 different ones. And again, by long-term ROI is understanding the current technology. And this is really where we kind of get screwed, because you can't say, well, I'm going to wait for the technology to be better before I invest in it. Because you know what? You're going to be waiting forever. LEDs are getting better and better every single day. I think it's not going to be that much longer till the Luxor is using an LED on top of their pyramid hitting the sky. It's just crazy how, of course that's a joke. Please don't think I'm not saying LEDs are that bright. But they are getting to be there. There's now cars that are offering headlights with LEDs. I mean, understand that a couple of years ago, LED wouldn't even light up your bathroom, and now it can light up an entire high school gym with one set of LEDs. That's insane. So you don't want to keep waiting for the LED technology to get better, because you're going to be waiting forever. It's the same thing with either computers. If you're waiting for computer technology to slow down, well, you're going to be without a computer for a long time, because they're always going to be evolving. But that being said, there are some things that you do want to wait on. If you just see, for example, they now have what we call video tracking media servers. Basically, it's projector mapping, but it tracks your face. So I could projector map a tattoo on somebody, and as they're walking around, it's going to stay on their face the whole time. It's the coolest thing ever. I don't have 50 grand for that, nor do I have the market that's going to even spend $5,000 just to projector map something simple like that. So I'm waiting. I'm going to wait till that technology gets a little bit better and the price goes down. It's really understanding where your median point is. My goodness, that's loud over there. Now, this is the one where after I said, hey, this is what sucks about being a multi-op. Eventually, once you do a lot more production, this is going to come up. Well, what happens when your two biggest clients call you on the same date? Now, you could easily say, well, I'm going to subcontract this person, or I'm going to network with somebody else. And that's a great idea till this happens. Bright meets with this other DJ. They did not like that other DJ. Whether they didn't like his sales style, or he spit on his mother, I don't know what the deal may have been, but they did not like that DJ. Then they meet with you. You book the event, everything's great, something happens and you wind up in an accident, right? You get hit by a bus the day of. So you tell them, look, unfortunately I'm not available, but I have another DJ I'm going to send your way, you're taken care of. And guess who it is? It's that DJ they didn't like. Suddenly your client hates you and you did nothing wrong except get hit by a bus. That's always been my fear when it came to that sort of things. I'm like, okay, it looks like we're really going to push this multi-op thing. But what are the advantages of doing multi-op? Well, when you're doing multiple productions, you don't want to sit there and miss out on a high-paying wedding that you can be the DJ and MC for because you already have an uplighting contract. But you don't want just some random person going in there and setting up your uplighting and then they break something and now it's a game of, okay, who broke it? You want to have people that work specifically for you in that sense. What happens if you guys get injured? I mean, who here is a single op? What happens if you guys get injured and you're, like you can still DJ, but you can't set anything up? What happens if you have a disc slip? Who's going to be there for you? You can't keep saying, I'm going to subcontract somebody else because that person may also be injured. They may be out of business. What's going to happen? It's that question. What? I'm going to yell at somebody later. But no, really, what's going to happen in the long run? But again, the big thing is you're going to one day have two of your biggest clients that contact you on that same date. The other nice thing about being a multi-op is there's a lot of money in it. If you can manage a successful multi-op, there's money and money and money. And I don't know about you guys, but I like money. I know they say money doesn't buy happiness, but I can show you a lot of happiness you can buy with money. A lot of it's in that trade show over there. But that being said, there are some advantages of being a multi-op versus subcontracting, 1099, whatever the case may be. I'll kind of go on a tangent. I will tell you that I don't do 1099. I do basically W4. I have all the employees work specifically for me. For one reason, I don't want somebody that already has a side business. Because if you're a 1099, they have to be insured and they have to be licensed. That's just the way the IRS is and everything else. You cannot use your insurance on somebody else with a 1099. So I don't want somebody that's self-sufficient where they can just get up and leave at any point. I want somebody that works specifically for me because I tell them, look, I'm going to provide you all the equipment because, again, it's part of my business plan. I don't want to subcontract somebody else and they're coming out with really bad lighting. I'm there talking about, hey, don't use halogen LEDs because the colors you want is not going to look good with halogen LED or whatever the case may be. And I'm subcontracting somebody else and look what they have, halogen LEDs, halogen uplights. But that being said, I want to be able to tell them, like, look, I'm going to provide all your gear, I'm going to provide your insurance, everything. Now I have full control over that employee. That's been a really successful marketing plan for us. But that being said, it's the transition from going to DJ to production company, a lot of us are there already and you don't realize it. So it's really, when you leave, look at your website, look at what you offer and say, am I just coming in and playing music? And if you're coming and playing music and setting up a T-stand with lights, that's fine. But the moment that you're getting into uplighting, the moment you're getting into monograms, projections, anything like that, you're no longer just a DJ. Get out of that mindset. Put yourself as a production company. If you're a one-man op and you don't feel comfortable saying that, then say event production company or just event company. But the really big difference between a DJ and a production company are those words. That's it. All of us are already doing it. It's whether the word is there, the mindset is there, and the education is there. Now, that being said, because I'm about to hit my time, any questions or anything like that, please make sure to email or you guys can call or text me. I'll be at the ADJ booth as well. I do have a couple minutes. If you guys have any questions or anything, please feel free to raise your hand or interrupt me at any time. Not going to hurt my feelings. And also, if you guys look me up on YouTube under DJ Crazy Ace, it's with an I, not a Y. Make sure you guys subscribe to my YouTube, download my mixtape. It'll set your car on fire. But any of that, thank you guys so much for coming. I appreciate it.